Anyone trying to buy a house right now, they can tell you it is a seller's market. Home sales and prices jumped again last month, just continuing the momentum we saw gained in 2020.
And when mortgage rates dropped to record lows during the pandemic, a lot of people saw their opportunity, but not everyone was able to compete. News 5's Caroline Sweeney shows us how what's good for the mortgage industry as a whole isn't necessarily good for Black Americans dreaming of owning a home of their own.
Danita, that's right. Across the country, 2020 saw the home market jump, but that meant the gap between white home ownership and Black home ownership got bigger.
You always have to look at the gap as a better gauge.
Monique Winston is the president of the Cleveland Realtist Association, which works to increase the rate of Black home ownership. She explained why the housing market is so hot right now.
In 2020, interest rates were phenomenally low. You have people literally trying to outbid each other.
Winston says for the first time in her career, she saw people regularly involved in bidding wars to buy houses, paying more than the asking price. But during that time, the 31% gap between Black and white home ownership that we saw in 2019 grew to 32.
When you look at the rate of Black home ownership, you got to look at the things that people don't like to talk about, like the systematic things and the historical aspects of everything.
She's talking about policies like restrictive covenants and redlining, policies that have had a lasting impact on generational wealth, or, as a friend once told her, a head start beats a fast runner any day.
If you have a 400-year head start and all things remain equal, we're never going to level out the playing field.
She says the only way to start closing the gap is coordination between organizations like hers, legislators, credit counselors, plus support from the faith-based community. And as for the hot housing market, low inventory combined with all of these bidding wars, sometimes involving out-of-state investors looking to flip our homes for a profit, it's ringing some alarm bells.
There are definitely some concerns about this, not just the bubble bursting, but these prices, Are they true? Are they inflated?
Now, Winston said another reason we're seeing this gap between white home ownership and Black home ownership grow is because the number of sellers who don't accept FHA loans is growing. These FHA loans are typically given to first-time home buyers and African Americans. But Danita, what we're seeing here in Cleveland, that's happening all across the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Caroline Sweeney, for that report. We have a little more information about this because there's some legislative action being taken to close the gap. This month, Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown was one of 3 senators to introduce a bill that would establish a homeowner assistance fund to help families struggling to keep their homes because of the pandemic. Winston says Black families are most at risk of this economic turmoil, and without any action, that homeownership gap would only grow wider.